Hello, Christina's World Kitchen. I'm Christina Martinez-Williams, and I am going to make a cheesy and simple cauliflower rice and chicken and rice casserole. It is super simple, and it is gonna have amazing flavor, and it's going to be something that you can, if you have some of these things already prepared, then you'll be ready to go. So I made my chicken in the Instapot, and I shred it, and I have 6 cups of shredded chicken. So 6 cups of shredded chicken. I'm gonna be mixing a bunch of stuff with this. But before I do that, actually I'm gonna add this in a bit. I'm gonna make my sauce first. So I have a half a cup of the chicken broth that is just what was created when I put in the water that's needed for the Instapot. I have the chicken broth, half a cup of that. If you don't have chicken broth, you can just use water. If you're using a pre-made chicken broth, just make sure that it's like without sodium or low sodium. And then I'm going to add to this a 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And then I am going to add, we're just making the sauce right now that's going to be within all of it. And then I'm going to add 2 beaten eggs. And actually, I'm probably going to get my whisk out. Tell me where you're watching from. If you like casseroles, like them in the comments. If you would leave them in the comments. The only thing about this is that it does take time to cook, but at least it's baking in the oven, which makes it like time efficient in that way. You don't have to be watching over it or mixing it. I had this for getting my chicken out. Let me move that. So I'm gonna whip this together, or just like connect the egg with the cream. And then I'm also gonna add my 6 ounces of cream cheese. I softened it for a minute in the microwave. And I'm gonna add that. I don't know if I'm gonna be regretting that I'm using the whisk for this. I don't think so. It's gonna be good. It's soft, so it's mixing all right. It's okay if it's in a little bit of chunks once you get it mixed around. All right, now we're going to add our spices, and then our like main things, which is just the cauliflower rice and the chicken. I wanna make sure that from my recipe, I'm telling you the right amounts of stuff. So we are going to do, sorry, I should have looked at this really closely before. Okay, so we're going to do a teaspoon of, this is onion powder, a teaspoon of onion powder. This is a half a teaspoon. A teaspoon of onion powder. Let's have a teaspoon of garlic powder. A teaspoon of paprika. Uh-oh, was that just 1/2? Uh-oh. I don't know if I did 2. Okay, it's supposed to be a teaspoon. This is a half a teaspoon in my hand. So it'll be just a little bit extra garlicky if I didn't remember, but I think I only did, it's supposed to be 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then 1 teaspoon of paprika. And then 1 teaspoon of pink salt. Now, if you want since my husband and I are the only ones who are, out of the 4 of us who are eating 1 teaspoon of pink salt, who are eating spicy, I will add cayenne pepper to mine. But if I was making it just for my husband and I would add cayenne pepper to this to taste. I would be adding a lot of it. And then a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. And now we're gonna mix all of this. We are back in Maryland, if you didn't notice. We're back in Maryland and ready to go. We got home at 4:30 in the morning this morning. slept for another 4 hours, 5 hours, and here we are. All right, now this is all mixed. It is very liquidy, which is good. You can see this is the bowl that I shred my chicken in. Now we're gonna add our chicken and our cauliflower rice, and then we have one more ingredient to add on top. So, I'm gonna put my cauliflower rice first. Actually, I'm gonna put my chicken first. It's gonna absorb differently. So I'm gonna get all my 6 cups of shredded chicken. I actually need to get my whisk out of here because it's gonna start sticking. All right, I'm gonna dump this in. And I'm gonna mix this all around with my liquid. And I cooked my cauliflower rice already almost all the way. Enough that it was cool and like cooked, but enough that I could squeeze all the water out. And then it was ready to, because it's gonna get more, it's gonna release more water the more it's cooked. So I didn't want it to be too runny. So this allows it to not be too runny by getting the water out. So I have 2 bags of cauliflower rice. One. And I squeezed as much of the water as I could get out. And now I'm going to mix this with the whole mixture, and then it's ready to bake. So I have all of this mix. So it's not overly soupy, but it's soupy enough that it mixes and combines with everything, and then it will be a great texture for when you go to serve it. Let me make sure that I don't have any like stray cauliflower rice in here, or where it's just clumps of chicken. Now that it's all mixed in here, it smells good. Now I have I sprayed my Pyrex with some oil, either avocado, coconut, or olive oil is great. And then I'm going to put all of this equally across. And then I have one last ingredient to add, and then I'm going to bake it for 20 to 30 minutes. You want it to be to where the cheese, well, that's what we're adding on the top. We're adding cheese. I didn't tell you that yet. The cheese on the top to be melted. So this is super simple. High protein, low carb. It's chicken, it's cheese, it's cauliflower, and that's about it. And spices. Okay, have just a little bit more. And then my cheese. So I have about 1.5 cups. You can do between 1 cup and 2 cups. There's already a lot of cheese everywhere with the well, a lot of cheese and healthy fats. So you have the cheese, you have the cream cheese, and then you have the heavy whipping cream, and then the eggs, which are not cheese, obviously. But so between 1 and 2 cups of cheese. I want it to cover the cheese that I shredded to cover the whole top. So it has that nice, like, cheesy, crusty top. All right. Now we're going to add our cheese. We haven't gone grocery shopping again yet since we've been home, and so I wanted to make something that was simple, that I had the ingredients for, and this was that. All right, so I might actually add a little bit more cheese before I put it in. So I might be closer to 2 cups of cheese, or a cup, still maybe closer to a cup and a half. I do want it to cover all the little parts. It's almost there. It's almost covering them. But I know that my husband and my girls love cheese. All right, that's it. So I'm gonna put it in the oven. 400 degrees is what it's heated to. I'm gonna grab that cheese. 400 degrees. Cheese. And 20 to 30 minutes based on what you, based on how you want your cheese at the top to be. And that is it. So from my house to your kitchen, try this. Tell me if you like casserole. Like it in the comments. From my house to your kitchen, global flavors and healthy plates from around the world. Bye.